Oh, it's lovely to be out in the 650 today. Sun's out. It's a balmy 13 degrees C. Yeah, I haven't seen 13 degrees C since last September. Winds in my hair, full tank of petrol. Just polished the car, Zano 2 followed by Zano 6 for that gloss enhancement. It's looking $1 million. But, as usual, there's a thorn in my side. It's the blooming soft top again. Yeah, it's this point you think, I wish I got an E63 rather than an E64. The soft top's a real pain in the neck. Yeah, this time it isn't poking it with the Bozeman poke or lubricating its linkages or poking a sensor. No, it's something more destructive than that, I'm afraid. Soft top canvas itself has worn out. Yep, it's worn and it's starting to tear at the creases, and every time we put it up and down it tears it a bit more. There's not going to be much left of it soon. Rightio, so what's my options? Replace the canvas. Well, first of all, the canvas isn't something you're going to get second hand in any decent condition. If you get it from BMW, it costs you 1,200 quid. It's a bear of a job. Even BMW don't like doing it. If you want BMW to do it, it costs you 3,000 quid. That's about half the worth of the car. Anyway, decided to give it a go myself, yeah, and the job's all done, and it's worked out a whole lot better than I expected. Yeah, and all the parts and bits and bobs needed for this job cost about 20 quid, about $30 or something like that. And yeah, it was a lot easier than expected, and it works really well, and it managed to get back into the compartment without fraying or falling off or anything like that. So yeah, it is a permanent repair, so let's get on with it. Before we start, here's all the bits and bobs we need. First of all, the actual patches themselves. They're from Amazon, about a tenner or something. So they're iron-on patches, nice black stuff, a bit like denim, quite a lot like the canvas, so it's pretty robust stuff. A sewing kit for leather, which I got from Amazon. So it's got all the scissors and the awl and all the needles and the thread and all the rest of it, and the D-picker. Yeah, that was about 15 quid. I've no idea how they do it. Pair of pliers to help the needle through, heat gun, and I'll try and find the part number for that. That's obviously from my own sort of toolkit, but they were quite cheap. So yeah, you've got to use a heat gun to get that patch on. So that's all we need for this whole job. Okay, let's have a quick look at the way that it's constructed to start with. Well, it's got a canvas top that goes all the way down to the lower half of this beading. And the underneath of the canvas top has got a waterproof membrane, which is also goes to the bottom of this beading. So how we're going to repair it is we're going to remove the old stitching. Most of it's gone already. So remove the stitching, and then we're going to put a patch down inside there, and then we're going to curl it round the front, up again to the waterproof membrane and the canvas top, and heat it in place so it stays there. And then we're going to stitch through all the layers, and there's a lot of layers now. Of course, we've got the patch, we've got the original beading, we've got the other half of the patch, through the canvas top, through the waterproof membrane, all through here, and then it goes back through the patch again, which is folded back there. So after we've done all of that sewing, we're going to end up with a patch that is well stuck on there. And not only that, we're going to heat it up when it's in place so that it melts into position. And it makes it a lot easier to melt it to the back of the beading to start with. So that's the method we're going to use. Other important thing is that before you start, pop the roof open just a bit like that. That allows you to get the access behind the beading, so you can actually twist the beading so you can get the needle through all of those layers, and makes it a lot easier. You can't do it with the roof actually flat on the front of the car. It's under a lot of tension and you just won't be able to move it. Okay, enough blurb, let's get on. I think the trick to this is to pick out the threads in the gutter before you start, then the patch can go further into the gutter, heat it up, glues in place, and allows you to then to manipulate the rest of it, curl it all round underneath the gutter, and yeah, heat it all up again so it glues into place, put the little notch along it, so that's where the threads are going to go. And yeah, it's going to stay like that as you stitch it.
Let's have a close-up look at what a mess this is here. Well, I'm going to use a patch, and the patch is going to go down behind here. So I think the important thing is that I remove the stitches that are already there. You can see the stitches are down the bottom there. There they are. So I'm going to have to remove those to get the patch down far enough. Otherwise it's not going to be caught by the stitching, so that's going to have to come off. Okay, well, I've removed the stitches from under there, or as much as possible anyway. So theoretically the patch can slide in there a lot better. Right, with the stitching removed, a patch, iron-on patch, sliding right behind the fray. What we're going to do is we're going to heat along here so the glue melts. Well, that's a theory anyway. We'll see how that goes. Plug in heat gun. I've got a heat gun for this. That's probably enough heat. Give it a squash. Nice and hot, that's for sure. Excellent. Well, hopefully that has adhered to the back of it. That gives me a good, much better chance of getting the stitches right through it. Okay, next thing we'll do, with that sort of stuck in place, is try and shape this as good as possible so it looks like the original binding, and for that we're going to need a bit more heat. Right, so that's certainly hot enough. Now what we're going to do is fold it right underneath, and then we'll stitch it through to keep it in place. So that's what I'll do next. Try and get it right underneath, as tight as possible, so it doesn't look too bad. That doesn't look too bad at all. Right, let's heat that into place. Then what we'll do is we'll push the centre of it in towards the stitching. And there we go, that's the patch on, ready to be stitched. Double knot, snip off the excess, start on the inside. It's not as easy as you would have thought. There you go. Right, I've got to make sure I don't chop through the thread with my pair of pliers. Twist it round. Try and end up in the middle. That's about it. There we go. That's about the right place. There we go. Yeah, it's a better start than the other side, that's for sure. Yeah, so I've got to be really careful with the pliers so they don't actually cut the thread, because that's what went wrong last time. There we go, he's in. Nicely threaded together there. Right, and what I need to do this time is do an overstitch so that holds that in. So I'll try and get my needle in close to where it was before. Try not to chop through the thread. Get pliers on it, that's it. Different pair of pliers possibly. There we go, that's through. Excellent. Righty-ho. Now we should be going through all the layers because this has gone right down underneath, and we can get to that side no problem, so we should be okay. There we go. That's it. That's quite neat, that, for me, that's for sure. Very good. Right, so that's the first one's over stitched now. So let's go for number 2. Then be careful I don't mangle the thread or I have to start again. There we go. Lovely. And I'll over stitch that again. Yeah, that's doing all right, that is. Quite a good bit of stitching there, if I say so myself. Right, we're not doing too bad here. I'll probably speed all this up because you don't want to be watching me just put stitches through a bit of canvas. Right up the back there we go. He's not going to come out, is he? And there we go. Heat it up one more time. Try and get a bit of shape back into it. Right, I've got the roof fully down, so it's locked in at the front. Make sure that it survives being fully down, which it does. See how it gets on folding up. There we go. So that's going to put the fold in it there. Over it goes. Folding nicely and into the compartment, yeah, without hitting anything. That's it. Well, there you go. Right, well, it's been a couple of weeks since I did the fix. Let's have a look and see how it's getting on. Well, yep, I'm really pleased with that. That is looking absolutely excellent. Soft top's been up and down half a dozen times. Hasn't frayed, the stitching is still in there. The only thing I have done to it is use the black Sharpie just to darken the edges of the patch at the start and the finish. Because like any denim patch, if you cut it, you get lighter edges. So that's looking absolutely excellent and looks like a good permanent repair. So yeah, very pleased with that. It's a permanent repair. It's going to last as long as the rest of the soft top does. So anyway, put the thumbs up if that helped you. Yeah, keep subscribing, keep commenting. I love the comments. I'm almost up to date now. Yeah, thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.